Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to another special edition of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of these guys back here, John Boy Media. And this is special because this is an interview that we taped almost a year ago. Yeah, no joke, at the baseball winter meetings down in San Diego. Now, the reason we didn't air it was because, if you remember, we actually put several managerial interviews together last year. We did an AL group and we did a National League group. And then since we had an extra National League manager, we were like, yeah, we'll air this. And then all of a sudden things kind of got on us and we had to start doing some player interviews. And we were like, well, when are we going to air that? It never happened. But boy, oh boy, did Torey Lovullo and the Arizona Diamondbacks have an amazing 2023 season. So this is really in my opinion, one of the funnier interviews because it's not just me. I have a special guest there to join myself and Torey Lovullo. One quick programming note before we hand you over to the interview. Rose Rotation is going to take a little bit of a break here. We will be back probably sometime in the middle of December with another, I imagine, player interview, hopefully a big-name free agent or somebody gets on the move. So look forward to that, but we're going to take a little bit of a step back and kind of deep breath, namaste, and cleanse our soul, our baseball soul, if you will. Lovullo and special guest. This might be the most special edition of the Rose Rotation because not only do we have Arizona Diamondbacks skipper Torey Lovullo, the boss man's joining. This is my boss.
Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Shades of gray there. I've become like a Diamondbacks figure.
Mascot?
I was going to say agree. Mascot.
Our first date was in Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
No, our first date was in Pittsburgh in a rain delay, and then you came to Shea.
You mean Citi Field?
I'm sorry, Citi Field. Yeah.
It's Shea.
Sans Jimmy because he was feeling a little sick.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the hamstring thing or something?
I forget what that was, but yeah, I was like a lost little boy. I was up the left field line.
Yeah.
Torey comes out. He's got a Diamondbacks hoodie and hat.
Yeah.
I felt like
this size.
Oh, come on. I'm a women's large. But no, it felt like I was joined, like it was almost like I had been drafted and like, here you go. This is your starter kit.
Yeah.
Like stay away from like Ketel Marte and some of the studs, but have fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm D-backs for life, man.
I love that. I mean, I know where you guys are. I know the teams that you like to root for, but I think the D-backs need a little love right now, so I appreciate that.
And it's so funny, man. I mean, because sometimes the internet just can't compute stuff. And the D-backs is you know some of the back channels of it, but they were awesome, and that's kind of all it takes for us to be awesome back.
I love
it.
And
so there's still some people that are like, "Wait, don't you remember 2001, man?" I was like, "Yeah." Guess what? It's okay.
Right.
It's gonna be okay. So.
This is wonderful. Yeah. I feel bad that I'm interrupting this love fest.
No.
This is
it's a big love affair. It goes way back.
Yeah.
But I don't think any further back than you and I.
That's true.
Let's go all the way back to Encino Little League.
Encino Little League. So he was a stud of Encino Little League.
Sure.
And then eventually you did you go to Montclair?
To Montclair Prep.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is no longer high school. It was so good. He was so good there. They were like, we can't have any more students after this.
Smart.
So they shut it down. And then he went to UCLA. And then he got drafted in like the 5th round by the Tigers or something. Am I right?
You read the bio a few minutes ago. There's no way you just pull that out that fast.
What are you talking about?
That is so good.
Holy, I've been
I like you even more. No way it's possible.
For years is what. No, this is good. What do you remember about your first day in the show?
I remember feeling a little bit rushed and like overmatched with my thoughts of thinking, I'm in the big leagues. I'm in Yankee Stadium. I just watched Jack Clark, Ricky Henderson, and Don Mattingly take the most show BP I've ever seen in my life from the dugout looking up at old Yankee Stadium. And I things started to speed up on me from there. And the next part of the game that I remember was a foul ball went up, and I wasn't playing. And Billy Bean, thank God he was there because he's a great teammate, and we were young. And I got up and I started to follow the ball because I was so amazed at the size of the stadium. He yanks me down. He goes, sit down and do not embarrass me. Don't embarrass yourself. This is the big leagues. There's foul balls in every stadium, okay? So those are the things that I remember. It's crazy. Nothing about the game. I couldn't tell you if we won or lost.
Seriously?
I ended up playing the next day, and we lost, I can't tell you if the first day that I was in a big league stadium if we won or lost that game.
What was your heartbeat rate when you walked into the batter's box for the first time?
It was racing. My whole entire family was there. My mom, my dad, my siblings, they all made it out from California to Yankee Stadium. I heard my name get announced, and for some reason I could hear the scream still in the back of my mind. And Sparky told me, he said, look, we're losing 9-4. Rick Rhoden's pitching. He's not going to throw you. He's going to throw you a first pitch right down the middle. Take a strike. Respect this game. And Sparky was so good at delivering messages. Respect this game. Don't embarrass yourself. And take a strike. And he told me like 4 times, and I wanted to look at Sparky Anderson, the icon, and say like, I'm good after one time. You could have told me I got the message, but he told me 4 times. So I still had that in my head. My family's here. Take a strike. Just get it over with. But it was my heart was pumping pretty good.
So you swung, right?
I did not swing. No way. I wouldn't be able to live to tell about it if I did. He would have had me.
We've been asking a lot of managers that have been in that seat when they first thought about being a manager. Was it during your playing career?
Yeah, I would think so. I was always that type of guy, and I think every player that you talk to manages the game while it's happening. Some don't care, and they just want to go up and drop bombs and throw strikes and strike people out. But I was managing the game and just thinking about the game on a different level, I thought. And I will say this: it was a gentleman by the name of Tom Giordano. He's one of John Hart's. I don't know if he's still living. He might be. An unbelievable scout for John Hart for many, many years, and I played in the Cleveland Indian farm system. I was toward the end of my career. It was, one of those situations where, like, do I want to keep playing? Should I keep playing? But I ended up playing and played in the big leagues a little bit more. But he said to me 2 years before my career ended, he said, hey, Lovullo, pregame, I just watched you take BP. You got no bat speed. Quit embarrassing yourself and shut it down. This game needs good coaches and good managers. It's time for you to do the real thing that you're put on this earth to do. And I was like, all right, T-Bone, what do you got? He's like, you're done. You got no more gas left in the tank. You're done. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's it. So I started thinking about it at a little different level when I heard one of the most famous scouts of for the Indians tell me, you're done. And that's when I turned the page.
Okay.
Right?
Message received.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
What do you think you would have done if you hadn't pursued coaching, managing?
I don't know.
You wouldn't have gotten into Hollywood biz, the family biz?
Oh, man. My dad gave me a great opportunity to do that.
Ooh.
He did. I probably around 17 years old. I used to spend all the summers in Nashville. So as I was growing up, All-Stars would end, Encino Little League would end, and I'd go out to Nashville for a couple 3-4 weeks, and just around the set. And around 17, my dad said, yeah, come on out and I'll have you do some cue cards. Just get behind the camera a little bit, see what it's like. It was so like boring. It was just like, cut, redo it, cut. And I'm like, in 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, cut. I'm like, this scene should be so easy. And it took an hour to do this 30-second scene. It just wasn't my jam.
I've never understood that. Like,
right? It looked perfect to me.
When you're getting like just one sentence in there and an hour and a half like that, I just don't get it.
Dude,
right.
That's
Does
why
that really
sports
change the product that much?
No, that's why sports are the best. Because it happens, and whatever happens, happens.
You got to live with it.
It's it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do it over. That's like the best thing that we've done at BattleBots is sometimes producers get their hands on something, and they're like, yeah, well, let's shoot it 5 or 6 times. I'm like, our guys are like, no, dude, fucking just roll with it. Let's go. So that's where they shot Hee Haw, was Nashville?
Nashville, Tennessee, and a tiny room, probably 50 by 50. They had all the sets rolling in and out of there on wheels in the back of the Grand Ole Opry. And I spent a lot of time running around the Grand Ole Opry. I have some good stories about, I was probably 9 or 10, maybe younger. And I would just go there. I didn't really enjoy watching the actors act. I was more interested in like the big drummer on the Grand Ole Opry pounding away at the drums, or Roy Acuff, right? Roy Acuff was this very flamboyant, the king of country music, right? He would have these huge jackets with sequins on them and these big boots. And I'll never forget one time I was walking by his dressing room post Grand Ole Opry Friday night, and he had trouble getting off his boots. And he had his own boot caregiver.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You serious?
It was unbelievable. So people have that today, right? It's like you don't even think about it today.
Rosie has.
You probably got that one. Yeah,
no, not true.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones has got the guy who cleans his glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Cowboys games. But so this is big though.
This was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
A boot caregiver, and he was like trying to get his boot off, and it was entertaining to me. So after every show, every Friday night, I would go to watch the boot caregiver yank off Roy Cuff's boots, and it was kind of comedy to me.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
My first real job was maintenance on a golf course. So I'd rake the bunkers, I'd weed whack around the course, and then normally there'd be one or other two jobs to do that day. But it was it was a first job. It was a first job. It was me and like 3 other guys that just chain smoked and pounded coffee all day. So I was like horrified of coffee. Like, not horrified, that's a little dramatic, but like these guys, the guys that got to the point that it was like 8 cups until they were like level.
Oh my gosh.
So forever I was like, I think I'm not doing coffee, just because like those guys are so locked in, and then eventually you get it.
Did you drive the ball picker upper thing?
No, there was no.
You know what thing I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
on the driving range.
The
driving range,
card,
right?
No,
everybody aims for it.
I mean,
Try to hit that guy.
yeah.
Aren't we such assholes if we do that?
Yeah,
though?
totally.
But
Hit
we
the
all
guy.
do it.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we're all
you
like.
kind of have to. It's like human nature.
But
like,
what's the guy saying in there? Is he like, God, stop being a dick?
it's not
Stop
like-
firing and
It's
stuff
not like
at
he's
me.
getting hit with the ball. Then it's a problem.
But still, it's like, I mean, I get it. Like, there's all this air and beautiful trees and stuff. Go fire it out there. Why do you want to go hit me?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love it. Let me see. My first job, I'll tell you what, before the cue card thing, my first job was separating the fan mail by state, because they wanted to see what region was sending the most fan mail, and then I had to kind of divvy it up. So I was a mailroom guy.
Wow.
I know every state with the two letters. Like you can't
Oh,
get
Rhode Island.
RI.
Okay, yeah.
So the tricky
nice.
ones are like the Michigan, Maine, MI, ME, MA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Nebraska. Is that
Any-
any? Yeah,
yeah.
I guess that's not too tricky.
So
but in my
I
head
figured
it
that
is.
out real quick.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad. You want to know mine? God, I'm such a stuck-up snob.
Okay.
Brown's ball boy.
Wow.
Yeah, how good is that? My dad was friends with Art Modell, the owner, the one that moved the Browns.
Is that Brian Sipe? Like
No,
throw up
I
there
wasn't.
over
I'm
here?
not that old to be a ball boy for the Browns.
Okay, let's
I was
see. Bernie Kosar.
heading into my exactly. I was heading into my senior year in high school, and I had the chance to go do that. So it was out at a community college, Lakeland Community College. I was out there. It was
Fantastic.
84 hours a week. It wasn't
Oh, so
easy.
you're doing like practices and
two-
everything. Oh, okay.
2-a-days
So
back
if they need a
then.
ball, you're.
Oh yeah, I worked with the defense. I worked with the linebackers. That was my group, and our linebackers coach was a guy named Dave Adolph, who was also our defensive coordinator, and he was a crazy old man. I was supposed to chart the plays and stuff, and every huddle, I'd walk in there to chart the play and be like, Chris, where are you? And I'd be like, Coach, I'm like right next to you. Here, okay, Chris, good job. We're running 286. I'm like, whatever the hell it is. I'm writing this shit down. It was great. You kidding me?
All right. So how many times did you run a ball right here? Got you.
Dude, all right.
Was that part of your stick?
Yes. So during the
Whoa.
preseason game, I started our first preseason game. We're taking on the defending Super Bowl champion, the New York Giants. The other ball boy who's in college, he comes over to me. He goes, just remember one thing. Don't give the game ball to the players to warm up with before the game. You're not allowed to do that. Great. Who comes over? Phil Simms, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, takes the football out of my hand, starts throwing it. The other ball boy runs him, gets in Phil Simms' face. He's like, don't fucking do that. He goes, give him the ball back. You know you're not supposed to have it. I'm this 17-year-old kid shaking.
Oh, my
like
God.
I was like, Jesus Christ, he can have the football. It's not that big a deal. He's like, no, you can't give him the football, and you fucking know that, too. I was like, don't swear at Phil Simms. I was terrified.
What a hardo.
I was terrified. He was a good ball boy, though, apparently.
Yeah.
Did his gig.
Took it very
Did his gig.
seriously.
Well, there's so much to be thankful for. Family, friends, food, and NFL football all week long. DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping your Thanksgiving week full of action. New customers can bet just $5 on the NFL action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. No matter your appetite, there's something for you. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. You name it, they got it. So download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSE, and new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL Thanksgiving action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. With promo code ROSE, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of the Boot Hill Casino and Resort, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 160 hours after issuance. Terms and sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Now back to the show.
When you're in a division with a team that won 111 games and another one that made it within a few wins of making it to the World Series and one that might sign Aaron Judge and all that sort of stuff, how do you get those guys to believe that you can – I know that any given day – I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about big picture, like over 162.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this isn't kindergarten. You don't get patted on the head and said, good job, right?
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Believe is a big word inside of our culture. You can't just talk about it and say, I hope that something's going to happen. You got to believe it. And I think you just got to prep to make it happen and say that I'm prepared to go out there and make this happen until it does. We talk about it from day one, and I get the guys to embrace it. I'm like, look, you want to buy players from the outside and have no culture, have no brotherhood. From day one of Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy, Alec Tom stepping into a big league environment, these guys have walked and timed together in the minor leagues. They know each other inside and out, like brothers. They get along. There's instant chemistry, and chemistry is a big play inside of baseball. So I say, let's embrace it. Let's care about it. We know that we're financially challenged. We know that we're not going to go out and sign $30 million a year players. This is a great opportunity for young players like you to go out there and embrace this challenge and go out there and beat some players that are considered better than you by their status, by their salary, but show everybody that they're not. And we all believe in that. We go out there and these guys buy in. They buy in. They love to go into Dodger Stadium and beat the Dodgers. They love to go into San Diego. And we haven't had a lot of success over the past couple of years, but they know what the challenge is every single day.
I love that.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, what keeps you busy in the off season? What do you do? It varies. I like to travel. I like to get out and see the world a little bit. This year I went to visit my daughter out in Bath, England. She was going to grad school. Whoa.
Out there just outside of London.
What's she doing there?
Linguistics. She's a very, very talented student. She speaks 5 languages. I don't know how. It's unbelievable. But odd languages like Russian.
Do you have any of that? Like, do you speak?
No, Zippo.
So where's that?
I barely speak English. Didn't you? You laid that up for me. That was nice. You really laid that up for me. Nice. Yeah. So she's like, I got to get them for her. She'll be proud of me if I can remember. So Spanish, English, Italian, a little bit of Italian, Portuguese, French, Russian, and is trying to learn Farsi. I'm like, you're going to be a spy one day. I know you're working as a spy for the government.
Is that like the goal or something?
At one time it was. I don't think she wants to anymore, but she just is a great student. And so very talented, trying to find her way. Still doesn't know what she wants to do after grad school, but did some traveling. I'll be spending a lot of time in Buffalo, New York, believe it or not. It's where my wife's from. Her father just passed away, unfortunately.
Sorry.
So, thank you. So we're going to go out there and tie up some loose ends with business, the home, sell the home, stuff like that. So, typically, travel, woodworking. Love woodworking. I could build anything out of wood.
No.
Love it.
You're kidding me.
Love it. Yeah, it's my hobby. 100% hobby. Joe Torey told me, Joe Torey is a personal mentor of mine. I love Joe Torey. I got hired. He called me. He said, look, congratulations. You got to have a hobby. What's your hobby? And I'm like, I don't know, like basketball, woodworking. He's like, you got to have something that takes you away from the game. And I'm like, well, what's yours? Do you know what his is? Horse racing. He's like, I love horse racing. If I'm not at the baseball field, I'm at the track. I'm like, are you supposed to tell people that story?
I was going to say.
Are you allowed to tell people you love horse racing and betting? So I took that to heart, and I started to woodwork over the past 7-10 years and love it.
What is if you have to show us, if we walk into your house, what is the one piece you are most proud of?
100%. I built a barn door as big as that right there.
Seriously?
Yeah. I'm gonna send a picture. I'm gonna send a picture to Jimmy because I have Jimmy's number, or my wife has Jimmy's number. So I'm gonna send it to you guys. I'll dazzle you.
So wait, you have Jimmy's number, but not Jake's.
I don't. How does that happen?
That's how it works sometimes.
What, really?
I'm kind of.
It's funny because
I'm
you're
a
the
weird
snake
guy
fan.
with my phone.
That's the breakdown, dude.
I don't
like you're the snake guy.
You know,
Yeah, I know.
I don't
right?
understand that.
I got it right.
That's how it works.
Taylor
man.
Jackson's also a big player,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So she came from
We
the
love
D-backs.
Taylor.
She's the
Yeah.
best. So
She's
I'll
the
either
best.
send it to her or my wife will send it to Jimmy. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. I
Barn
dug that.
door.
A big barn door. My wife's like, yeah, can you put a barn door on? I'm like, yeah, no problem.
But where do you don't have a barn?
No, it's in our bedroom. We have a huge.
Whoa,
open-
hey now.
Rosie,
Whoa.
you gotta watch some
Hey,
HGTV, man. The
now.
barn doors became
It's a
huge.
big play.
It's
It's a big play.
and when they're done right, it's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
So when it's there, we got a huge opening into the bathroom. So I'm like, it's hanging up. Is it going to slide? Is it going to open?
Oh,
and it
yeah.
actually works really good.
Okay.
I'm really proud of myself. Not only did I construct it, I had to assemble it on
Right.
the track, and I nailed it.
You did that solo?
Solo. The bar. My wife had to help me with the door to lift it onto it, and that's like putting a Christmas tree in your house. It's an instant fight. Pick it up, honey. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm a girl. I'm not strong like you. I'm like, I'm not strong either. You got this. Let's go.
Motivation in the
Yeah.
off seasons there.
Rosie,
God,
I've got, if I may.
Yeah, by all means. I mean,
So-
I don't want to. Let me see here. Is Casey? He's gone.
He
You're on your
left.
own.
He
You're with us the
sprinted
rest of the
outta here.
night.
I've-
Welcome to your John Boy Media internship.
I've heard some rumors, and I don't want you to give everything away.
Yeah.
But Lovullo Parties, games.
Yes.
Ooh.
So I guess what can we know? Because from everyone we talked to around you,
Yeah.
we got that vibe, and we originally were trying to plan something. It didn't happen last spring training because the lockout was going on. So
Yeah.
it was just like we had a lot going on, you had a lot going on,
Yeah.
and then you visited the office with your wife.
Yeah.
She basically threatened us with like, you will be coming over. There will be a party and there will be games. And me and Jimmy are sitting there like, all right,
Yeah.
we like all of those. So
Yeah.
I guess what can we know, or maybe
Yeah.
what shouldn't we know?
I wanna
And then
know.
I was also going to ask, like, how much do those games, do you ever see something and you're like, we got to bring that to the clubhouse and we got to have the guys mess around a little bit.
Oh.
Like, so
Okay.
Yeah.
God, that's a good question.
see?
Yes. 100% yes. The big play that my wife is after me for to bring to the clubhouse is the karaoke machine.
Okay.
She's like, you got to bring it to spring training and
Oh,
put it in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That is kind of where I'm leaning. But I got to apologize to you guys. Last year there was a
Don't
lockout, a
apologize.
whole bunch of stuff.
Don't have to
I just didn't think it
apologize.
was looking right if I had you guys over when you were there. and
Right.
we weren't playing baseball.
It would have been a little bizarre.
So the invite stands. You guys are coming over no matter who it is, whether it's a dinner and games or just dinner, yet to be determined. But we have this obstacle course that we kind of invented during COVID. It involves hitting a badminton. What's the
birdie.
the birdie
Birdie.
over a net, stomping on a little rocket into a target, and it, pushing a trash can 50 yards there and 50 yards back on rollers, and then making a basket, but that doesn't end it. We get very creative, and you shotgun a beer
Sure.
Oh.
to make the clock stop. So
Right.
I don't know if you guys are drinkers or not. Maybe you are, maybe you're not.
Yeah,
but
I mean, come on.
we are going to have to figure out how the game ends. But that's kind of like the best game that we play is this obstacle course.
So I think part of this alignment that's happening naturally is Jimmy. This is a decade ago. Jimmy and some of his friends, his California friends, because Jimmy lived all over, they're renting a beach house in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you got it. And Jim's going to get the footage now. And I was like, yeah, I'm in, obviously. Like, group of young kids, house in Santa Barbara, let's do it. Jimmy and his family is a game family.
Yeah.
There will be games. There will be activities. We're playing. We set up an obstacle course that 60% of what you just listed was in that obstacle course. So we might be like good candidates for this.
No,
This
you're
is
going to
what
be
it-
pros. You're going to
Yeah.
be ready for it. That's what I want to know. But it's can jam. It's cornhole. It's probably a basketball hot shot. It's I built a big quarterback throw, small
Like
hole,
through the hole?
through
I
the
got
hole.
it.
Yeah, touchdown, field goal, that
Yep.
thing. So we'll get it going. It'll be good
Okay.
to see you guys. The offer stands.
I'm ready.
Dude, that
Let's go.
sounds great. I love it. I imagine you were a Montclair prep hooper. You must have been.
I was. Montclair Prep had 23. In my graduating class, there was 49. 23 of us were male. You had to play every sport.
Yeah.
That was required. Like if you didn't, you were like, yeah, that guy doesn't play.
But you in LA, you must have balled against some good players.
I was okay. I love basketball. But you guys, I think Millar knew that. I
Yeah.
shared that with him when you
Yeah,
guys were
I
doing
remember
your
that.
thing. Love basketball. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I played against somebody by the name of Leon Wood. If you can go
Oh, yeah.
all the way back. So I was transitioning in and out, and I was an 8th grader playing on a summer league varsity, and he was like this varsity guy at St. Monica High. That was the best player I ever saw in my life.
It's a good one.
Yeah, real good.
Listen, dude, it was fun catching up with you.
Always
We're
my
looking
pleasure.
forward to game night. I can't wait to see the barn door. I love it, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not invited near
It's
the
interesting
barn
that it's in your bedroom. That way, there he comes, Mr. Horse. That's
Yeah.
quite a statement. Us little guys that grew up on the east side of Cleveland, we can't make that statement. Nope. It gets cold out there, guys. You know what I mean. Have a great holiday season
Thank you.
with your family and everything.
Likewise, you guys.
Thanks for dropping by.
Always a pleasure. I
Thanks,
love you
Torey.
guys.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it,
the
man.
time. Appreciate it.
I
Yeah,
love
for
you,
sure.
man. I'm all in.